Mess up when, and you are highly likely to get a no.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
Welcome to another episode of Life's Inside Track. I'm Youre Decker.
And I'm Ken Decker.
And we're excited because we get to share with you techniques, thoughts, tools that we all need, we all deserve, you, I, everyone, to turn our house into a home where our families thrive and we live the best life possible.
I agree with you, Yetta. Sometimes when I mess up the when, I get an answer I don't want. The struggle is real.
It really is. So on this episode, what you're going to learn is how do you navigate timing of your statements or your questions or your information that you're delivering to make sure that your timing alone didn't get you an answer you didn't want.
Wow. So that's interesting because time, they just say, sometimes that's an excuse. Oh, it's just bad timing. You shouldn't have brought that up right now. And sometimes I might just happen to use that as an excuse for not wanting to deal with something.
So this is every topic we talk about is fascinating. That's where I was going. Don't you find that there's times in our lives where we use an excuse, because I know I have used excuses many a time, and Ken just admitted he does too. And we have, and we have a tendency to think that it has to be all one way or another way. So either we have to, time is of the essence, because that's a great quote. I love that. Time is of the essence. And then it's, no, this isn't the right time. This is bad timing. And so we have to really figure out, you get to figure out, I get to figure out whether we're telling the truth or whether we're just making a healthy excuse.
True. And sometimes it's kind of obvious when you say this is bad timing for this question or bad timing for this information. Maybe, you're a mother and you are at your wit's end and the baby's crying, and that's not the time for your husband or as another child or something to ask for something.
It would be a really poor choice.
Like if I came home and I said, "What's for dinner?" Because I've been thinking about eating food all the way home from work. I'm hungry. I say, "What's for dinner?" And I have no idea what you've dealt with for the whole day with the baby.
Right. And I haven't had a baby for a while, so he's reflecting here. However, he still doesn't know which 15 clients I may have helped in the last 3 hours. He doesn't know which lawyer call I've just gotten off of. He doesn't know what setback or how someone left a home and how somebody's feeling upset. And I've just been attempting to navigate a delicate or frustrating or difficult situation with somebody. Or we found out something wasn't the way we were told it was, and now we own the house and we're trying to figure out how to navigate it. Or somebody goes out and gets extra credit after they've gotten their financing approval. And then I'm on the phone with them trying to walk them through how not to get sued.
Yeah.
These are really big deals.
Yeah,
these are real.
So it's test the waters. Like sometimes I come home and I'll go, "Oh, she's upstairs still." I text her and I let her know I'd be home in 30 minutes. I expect dinner on the table, which is an unspoken expectation, right? And so then I just wish you a good adieu and hello and welcome. And then I go start cooking.
Right. Or those days where he walked in and goes, "So why's not the dinner there?"
Oh, that's rare now. I'm pretty good at that. Or I'll call and say, "Hey, do you want me to pick up takeout on the way?"
That's a little bit wiser. So when has timing gotten in your way, and how can you make sure it doesn't get in your way? Because testing the waters is a great start. So actually start with the niceties, I'm going to call them, the kindnesses. Like, have the conversation when you come in. Hey, love, how was your day? What exciting things happened for you? Anything I should know about? Because now there's an opportunity to figure out before you start blurting an expectation or sharing even your own struggles, because the struggles for both are real. And this isn't just about a partnership where we work together, although I think the complexities of that are even greater because they're relatable, which almost makes them, when you're not in it, feel like, well, I handled that well last time myself. So whether it's a business partnership or whether it's a friend or whether it's a mother-child or father-child or siblings, when you're coming into space where somebody is, just before you start your thing, what's up for you, maybe just test the waters.
Yeah, especially if you are thinking it's kind of an intervention kind of conversation, right? Where you're admonishing or correcting or that kind of thing. And we've got a whole process for that. Maybe we'll talk about that on a future show. That would be fun.
We will, and we have, and we will again, because I think it's important.
So it's important to know that when you're emotional, whether that be angry or sad or depressed
or tired, because that's emotional creates a tiredness.
Is tired an emotion?
No,
I don't think
but it
so.
creates other emotions.
Yes. When you're in an emotional state, your ability to make a clear decision is poor, I believe. And so if you're going to make life-altering changes, like who you're going to live with, where you're going to live, where you're going to work, what else, Yetta? What you're going to drive.
Any big decision.
Yeah. Wait until you are at a more stable emotional
Right. So there's self-imposed timing, but it's that timing somebody else throws a big question at you. As we were preparing for a Life's Inside track and creating content and thinking about what you would need to hear and what would bring you value, Ken started having a very in-depth business-related conversation. And it was like, what are you doing, man? Because...
Or one of the worst ones, not the worst, but is where you find out the information from someone else or after the fact, because I felt there wasn't a good time. Maybe like the time I was out car shopping. So I'm out looking at cars, but we haven't had the discussion yet that it's time for a new car or a replacement car. And maybe I'm just doing the research, or maybe I'm pretty serious about buying something. And then you hear from a friend or a neighbor or our kids that, oh, Dad was out looking at a truck yesterday or a car yesterday. That creates more angst, right? Because the timing was wrong. I should have explained that, hey, I'm just going out to check out the waters, right? As opposed to...
Right. So the second part about timing is what information does have to be delivered and when is the right time to deliver it. So thinking about what information. And then the one that I'm like, I don't really want to admit, but I'm going to real quick. When you meet somebody and you just blurt out a question that it's at the wrong place at the wrong time. And maybe it's the wrong time in the relationship. Like, consider the relationship and what questions and conversations it's even the right time to be having.
And also who's around.
And who's around.
What ears are listening? Maybe it's your little children are listening to an adult conversation and you don't realize it, right? Those are all timing.
And so we are grateful that we get to be your partners on the journey where we get together to figure out how to time our conversations and our discussions even better.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.